Ladies and gentlemen, Kazongpo and welcome from the magnificent Watcher Sports Arena nestled beneath the mountains of PARO, where today the BoB Bhutan Premier League title race takes center stage once again. It is reigning champions PARO FC welcoming TENSUNG FC, and the equation for the home side could not be clearer. They begin the afternoon 1 point behind the league leaders. Recently, Timber City moved to the summit. Today, PARO have the opportunity to take it straight back. It is becoming a fascinating exchange at the top of the table. One weekend, one club leads, the next another steps in front. Early on in the season, it was a very tight race where many teams had the opportunity to take that spot up in the top flight. But right now, it is only up to Timber City and PARO unless they face setbacks. But this is the starting 11 for PARO under head coach Pushpalal that may look to get the 3 points here to establish their lead up front. Gelson Zangpo 1, Mohibullah 33, Tariq Kazi 40, Siddiqui Jawara 2, Nyimongdi 15, Abdulli Balde 7, Tomoyuki Uno 5, Purpawangchu 18, King Owanchu 11, Yuta Mishima 22, and Richard Sanya 97. These Tigers definitely know that 3 points on home soil will place them up at the summit, and they arrive in excellent form. Confidence has returned, the rhythm has returned, but opposite them is a defensive juggernaut that has time and time again obstructed the path of many. It is TENSUNG FC with their starting 11. Head coach Kilipenjo with goalkeeper is Toji 31, Ogewanchu 8, Kilit hitting 24, Sompunso 4. Kizadoji 3, Liktanden 6, Purpatenzen 14, Sangelegden 17, Chilewanti 11, Peljawanchu 7, and Sangeletro 44. Completing the starting 11 for TENSUNG. Time and time again have they proved to be a thorn on the side of many who were looking to carry forward their season early on with a lot of ambition. Drukpa FC, Transport United, you name it. They've been able to put up draws, put up wins in the unlikeliest of situations. Even BFF Academy found it hard to continue with winning ways when matched up against TENSUNG. The military side, however, may not always enjoy the headlines, but their reputation they built on discipline, organization, and an unwavering commitment to defend as a unit are a team that asks difficult questions, and they make every meter of the pitch hard-earned. So do let me know which team you are rooting for going forward. It is the Tigers in red, TENSUNG in their away jersey as they prepare to come right in to this match. Should be an entertaining 90 minutes. Hopefully, we keep what happened yesterday. For those of you unaware, Timpu versus Drukpa. Well, it became an interesting match amongst the fans themselves. Hopefully, we do not see more of that. But again, until we start, this was your commentator, Oguntesh Tochi. See you guys when the match begins.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you are able to, please stand up for the national anthem.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, Kazangpo and welcome on screen is PARO FC, the Tigers at home here at Wachu in red and Tensung in blue. With regards to the referees we have today, it will be main referee Wanshin, assisted by Pasang and Kilipenjo, and the fourth official for today, again, Penjo. Hopefully they do not have to work as hard as the referees yesterday had to. Not a good sign for football if those sorts of situations keep popping up time and time again, but hopefully being a fresh memory that is kept under control. Not a scene we want in front of our family, but again, back to the match at hand. A quick reminder as to what the table looks like for our fans right now. It is Timber City up on top, 17 points to their name. Right behind is PARO, however, quick on the chase, sharp. And they're finishing 16 points to their name, only 1 point behind, which means that victory today will give them plenty of cushioning up against the other teams. They will still be within reach of Timber City, but should be good signs if Timber City somehow end up in a draw or a loss in their upcoming matches. And after the win yesterday, TENSUNG FC escaped the three-way tie with BFF and Serang, shot themselves up to third place, tied at 13 alongside RTC. Right behind is Transport United at 12. Trukpa FC all the way down at 8 now. And Tensung, the opponents of the Tigers today, 5 points to their name. Even if they win today, they will still remain 9th. But they will still remain above Ugan Academy down at 10th. Both teams, 2 of 3 teams to stay fully local in their rosters, now at risk for relegation. Not quite sure as to what the end of the season will look like. You can be sure that going into mid-season, that is not a spot you want to be. The middle of the pack, tightly congested. The top 2 and maybe top 3 within range of each other, within a game or 2 of each other. But the bottom 2 right now will want a couple more games. Before they have a sort of cushion that they want to work with going forward, because by right now all they're doing is looking up, and that is not helping their odds of staying in the league next season. But so far, do let me know which team has caught your eye the most, which team you've been supporting from a long time back, and which team you want to see lift the league this time around. Since the start of this decade, it has been PARO FC that has not allowed a single other team to beat their reign up at the top. Before that, it was Timber City. Transport United had a couple of wins before that. Ugan Academy, early on, a long time ago, way more than a decade ago, back in the early stages of the growth of Bhutanese football. Ugan Academy did lift it once, but now they face relegation. So still prayers up as PARO FC. Now in possession, they do have a lot on the bench they could work with as well. PARO. Had possession down on that wing, but has conceded it over to Tensung. Again, right now, not much in terms of goals scored. They did have that one overhead over intentionally from Chinle, and the follow-up from Kinzang in that spectacular volley against BFF. But in that last match of Tensung, I did mention being a defensive team doesn't mean you can completely give up on offense. The best you can do, staying completely defensive, is a 0-0 draw. And once the other team manages to find a breakthrough, and once the other team gets one up, it seems pretty much impossible for Tensung to find that equalizer to get right back into their, well, defensive game and their slow pace. Time and time again, they've been saved by their goalkeeper Yezetoji, who's emerged this season as one of the league's most promising talents. Not quite the spotlight, not quite the attention on him, but browsing through social media, I really love to see him finally getting some attention early on for Tensung. I do believe he was a backup goalkeeper only getting to start this time around. It was Top Gay who had that spot before him a couple seasons back. Last season, it was someone else, forgot the name. But this season, finally gotten his time to shine, and shine he is doing indeed. Yuta Mishima, alongside Taiga, are PARO's top scorer, 7 tied alongside Rinzen Doji from BFF. Last time had the opportunity to solidify themselves as the lone top scorer of the league, but this time may be the opportunity they need as Siddiqui Jawara launched off a casual swing with that left foot, but the elevation and pace on that ball completely betraying the technique we saw. Last match did see him go after those balls, look and hunt for those efforts from distance. Just refused to fall. So hopefully we see one this time around. Those shots, despite missing, do really look dangerous. As PARO, no clear advantage. Abduli Balde, left-footed delivery inside, but Yuta Mishima just too far out. Solid run there. Cavani making a brilliant name for himself here in the Bhutan football scene. The Gambian pair alongside Siddiqui Jawara. Immediate impact up in that match versus RTC. And since then, they've cemented themselves as one of the best forwards and one of the best defenders in the league. But both of them, their goal-scoring ability, right now, inside the first 5 minutes, not really many opportunities as PARO ricocheting Tensung's second header and finally cleared off. Killisering sends it out long. Pelton on the recovery for Tensung, who will get that pass towards Richard Sanya. He's wearing a red jersey, but off the crossbar. Early test there from PARO. But here's Etoji, not sure if he managed to get a hand in, but even if that shot was on target, here's Etoji. His reaction was timed to brilliant perfection. Solid goalkeeping there. Doesn't allow for those simple shots to fall in. This time, by no means simple. But the goalkeeper really did his best. But attack not over yet. Kinga haven't started in a while. This time has gotten the opportunity, but tried to lob it in towards Yuta Mishima. It will be easy to tap it away. And a corner it is that they will have to fight off. Again, a closer look at that shot. Richard Sanya, his left foot and the power on that shot as well. Steadily becoming his signature output. But at the same time, is it Doji? You have to appreciate the effort there from the goalkeeper. The only question now is, can he keep away one more as PARO lost one in? Header comes right out and in. At the 6-minute mark, it is Mohibullah who finds the opener for the home side. A casual flick with that header. Easy trajectory there, which simply stunned Doji. And now PARO, an early advantage.
Team PARO FC, jersey number 33, Mohib.
Again, a closer look at that. All alone up in the air, Sonam Punso backtracking, trying to cover Siddiqui. Did not expect that elevation from Mohibullah. And so referring back to what I said earlier, Tensung, after conceding a goal, They do not necessarily have a consistent win condition to get a goal in and find the equalizer. Their defense, of course, elite. Can we see something different this time around? TENSUNG did at least get the ball inside the box of PARO. Did keep it alive. One touch off to the left now. Coming in for the challenge was Purpawangchu. But that effort, despite the promise and the expectations, simply fell short. It will be Gelson Zhang post to take. Tomoyuki Uno has been really impactful since his return for the Tigers. Richard Sanya tried to set one in, but Sompunzo simply denying that effort. And TENSUNG will have to fight off yet another wave. Again, PARO can afford to go all out as they still have a lot of firepower on the bench. Musa Khan, Ugendoji, Tsitimnam Tiger, Kita Jima, Somstring Doji as well, who made a fantastic debut for the club against Ugen Academy. Complete and utter destruction where Som Tsering put on full display the entirety of his arsenal, especially being put in that creative role and sometimes in that finisher role himself. As PARO looked to get yet another finish in from Yuta Mishima, but that outlet towards Purpawangchu will be cut short by a whistle from the referee. Plenty of grappling there, but it is allowed to build on. Cavani down on that left, taking on that assignment. Sompunzo ricochets back to Abduli Balde. That clearance, however, will be from TENSUNG. Siddiqui Jawara keeps it under solid control for Richard Sanya, who pokes it in. Yuta Mishima now on the right. Nyima back down the middle. Sanya, Yuta Mishima. Abduli Balde simply posted up way too deep to get a touch in on that setup. Otherwise, a solid series of connection amidst the personnel of the Tigers. But they will not see it go in. A bit harsh, a bit reckless with that challenge as Sanya is dropped. Back to Siddiqui. Yuta Mishima tries to win it back. Sompunzo chips it short. And TENSUNG, a string of brilliant connections against the double team down on the flank. May not be much there technically. And it does get possession back over for PARO. Still deep possession TENSUNG, despite how compacted they are. PARO still finding a lot of avenues as TENSUNG handing it right back over to PARO. Typically only a scene we see from teams who want to keep the margin narrow over in the Women's National League. Sometimes a good decision, but not something you'd expect out here in the BoB Bhutan Premier League. As TENSUNG get a clean pass in, but a challenge from Mohipula will send it out for a throw-in. Smart there from Pelden. baiting that challenge in and letting it roll for a much better opportunity. Now inside, Paro half on-screen head coach for Tensung Kilipenjo. Till now, seasons past, brilliant job done. But now with Tensung, especially given the personnel he has and their skill set, he may have to craft something unique, something unorthodox if they want Tensung to stay in this league. If Tensung bows out, by all means, not saying it will happen, but if that happens, we will not have a military side from Bhutan over in the football scene, which hasn't been the case for a very long time. Early on, did have the police side as well, Drupal.
Yeah.
Right now, only Tensung left, and they face immaculate risks. Late challenge there from Likitanjan. Again, a closer look at that. Might have been a bit reckless, a bit late, that ball. At least that challenge was on track to that ball. Just got the after image, and along with it, Richard Sania, who now earns an incredible opportunity for PARO FC. Also, PARO FC playing very beautiful. What else can I say? Their chemistry has definitely improved. They do have a lot on the bench they can go to, and they will play like a completely different team, which would still be of a very elite caliber up here in the league as they try to send one in directly, but too much power behind that effort. And back to Yazatochi it is for Tensung. Yuta Mishima right up front, looking for the second for Paro, but that cleanup from Likitanen may earn a corner. Yes, they will. For Paro. No wonder they've been champions for so long, despite so many changes in their roster, so many changes in their lineups, coaches as well. Their culture, their legacy simply shows in the way they play. Very smart when it comes to football. Very explosive, and the motor there to back it all up as well. Can't really comment on the tactics that much because I myself, truthfully told, am not really aware. And I can if I look back on the matches and take my sweet, sweet time. But while it's happening, it's really hard for me to break all these down. So that is still a work in progress. So I will avoid that topic altogether. But what I really appreciate about Paro is the fact that they have a lot of options. Even their defenders can go up and score, and that does put a lot of pressure for any opposition. I play defender, so I can truly appreciate, I can truly understand the frustration and mental pressure that will fall on these defenders. You can't really expect possessions to end up in one guy like a team, for example, Transport United. You always expect Abayomi to make that run and create those chances. So there's at least one consistent option they are going to turn to. But for Paro, they can go in from anywhere. Shots from distance, check. Headers off of throw-ins, check. Corners, check. Well, build up, check. Short passes, check. You've got it all. And right now, the only one that's gotten close are those short passes. That header from Mohipullah and that long shot from Siddiqui Jawara, yet to find a proper calibration towards the back of the net. But Richard Sania may very well get one in. All credits again to head coach Pushpalal Sharma of Paro, who has done an incredible job with his squad. Also, those two new Gambian signings, not quite sure who their scouting personnel are, but they've done an amazing job. It's one thing that has improved overall for the entirety of the league across all teams to be fair, because they've brought in players who average fans may not even know exist. And somehow they bring them in to Bhutan. And that overall has improved the competitiveness of the league and is making it just that much more fun to watch. As Tarikazi ended up getting the whistle over. Kinlet sitting 24 for Tensung was the guy that managed to get in that wonderful volley against BFF Academy. Set their run back. And now back to Siddiqui Jawara. Mohibullah. Paro breached down the right. Cavani, the Gambian looking for the Japanese. Look at that earlier challenge there from Kinlet. A bit too reckless there, but too much weight. But not really. Filled with foul intent, had Tarikazi managed to stay on his feet, would have been allowed, I think. Yuta Mishima targets Siddiqui Jawara, but posted up right behind Siddiqui, couldn't find the trajectory. Did start that jump off correct, but simply shoved out of the way. It will be Tensung's to take. Now up to Sompunso, pressure coming in tight from Yuta Mishima as Sompunso sends it up right down the line. It's between Siddiqui and Kilatis. Siddiqui who wins that header. Richard Sanya couldn't get to it first. Tomoyuki Uno. Kinzang. A bit too much grappling going on. But it is the identity of Tensung. When you go up against him, you have to expect a bare minimum level of physicality, and you have to respect that and play strong. Trying to win those whistles, of course, a very smart play. But at the same time, you could just decide to brush it off and play strong equally yourself. Left-footed from Paro. Looked dangerous there with that opportunity. Toji got a bit off guard, couldn't really plant his feet in to get a proper dive. But probably had the judgment correct that that ball was going way far wide. Paro playing through Kinga may look to whip it in, but it is from Punso at the end. And now off to Nyuma, looking for a shot from way far out. It will go for a goal kick for Tensung. Siddiqui, back out to Mohibullah. Trikazi. Well, opportunity right up front. Hazard did have that slip, but no risk there for the goalkeeper. So far, plenty of amazing efforts, and simply unfortunate that that one header from Mohibullah, given how much space he had, Izdoji, not much of a chance there. So hopefully he is able to at least keep the margin tight, because right now Tensung's defense completely unreliable in possession as Kinga wins it right back. Purpa Cutting in, evading on the left space towards the flanking guard, looking for a better angle delivery. Yuta Mishima did not get it, but ball will roll right out. Follow in. Sompunto header over Abduli Balde. Clean up. Not quite there. Tomoyuki Uno winding it up, but deflected yet again as PARO get a throw in. Deep inside Tensung's half. Siddiqui Jawara taking part. Back out to Kinga. Siddiqui. Mohibullah. A string of close calls in the minutes past. But since then, they have decided to slow it down. 22 minutes in, Yuta Mishima right up front. His creative connections ended up for a touch there from Purpa. Did what he could, sent that ball off in the angle available to him. Just unfortunate that Yuta Mishima was simply too far behind for that ball. It was Yazidoji who got to it first. Solid vision there at least, despite lacking a little bit in terms of execution, but PARO getting yet another chance to follow it up, and Tensung has conceded a penalty. Easy call there, controlled dribbling, and just in a moment of carelessness, let forward a foot there towards Richard Sanya. Sange Leto it is. And with that, the chance for PARO to make it 2. Again, a closer look at that. Richard Sanya faked that first one, tried to dribble it in to the right. Izatoji, if there ever was a time where he could elevate the respect he has earned, this may very well be it. But it is up against Richard Sanya, who has one of the coldest shots in the league. A spear against a shield. Sanya, run up and no mistakes. Is there committed to the wrong direction, and PARO will have the lead at the 24th minute, will have double the lead at the 24th minute.
Goal for Team PARO FC, scored by just number 97, Richard.
Solid there from Richard Sanya. There is a substitution being made for Tensung. Ugiwachi Namgyal, who's had the reins over Sangaleto, is being taken out. Chokyoanchu making his appearance after a very long time. Did see him in the first couple of games for Tensung, being brought in as a sub. But since then, didn't really get a chance.
Substitution for Team
Sanya
Tensung, just number
keeps it on at the edge of the box. Follow up.
just number 8, Ugen.
Touch was there, but not enough to direct its shots that shot completely towards the nets. I am forgetting English, my apologies. Is it Ochi? His shot stopping ability typically keeps Tensung alive in games even when they are supposed to lose by wide margins. But this time against the reigning champions, doesn't seem like even his ability will be able to deny their impending doom. I know it's unfortunate, still too early. Even in that Argentina versus Egypt match, 2-0, Egypt looked like they were almost winning until Argentina simply said no. But right now, Tenzing will need a lot of prayers to even emanate that situation, a part of that situation, because their offensive capability and their build-up play is looking horrendous. And on the other end, almost let one in. Solid run there from Purpa, but just too much pace on that ball. Will send it out for the goalkeeper. Intense pressure there from Paro. Tensung not really finding an answer out past their backline. Clean answers out. Typically, they rely on Sangelegden to get out of those situations because he is one of their best in terms of passing ability. Even those long passes, very accurate if he is in form. But since their last two games, if I'm not wrong, Sangelegden has been given a more forward role and has been eliminated completely from Tensung's build. I'm not quite sure what they are trying out because last match it was Uginwachu who tried to get in that responsibility over from Sangelegden. Did well, but right now without Uginwachu and without Sangelegden, Tensung may not find an answer. As Purpa does send a shot in. Easy save there from the goalkeeper who had it to go totally towards his direction. And now Sangelegden. Clean pass back, one touch forward, it goes towards Paro. Risky there from Tensung. Went about it a bit too casually. That pass, can it find a teammate? Well, if signs weren't obvious early on, this should pretty much confirm the fact that Tensung are imploding. Solid save, Cavani, final touch, but the flag was up. And Tensung will get the restart. Tensung, at least possession inside Paro's half, but that may not last for long. Pressure coming in tight. Kinga, Cavani switched up to that left, will hand it over to Sanya and now to Yuta Mishima. And now attention on that challenge there from Kinga. Did win the ball back, but they may have collision towards the ankles of the defender from which he took it from. Well, does seem like... Yup. It was a scratch on the face there from Kinga. Not quite sure how intentional it was. But definitely seemed like it took off a bit of skin. A quarter of an hour left inside the first half. Paro, if they continue on with this form, they pretty much guarantee they win as Tensung right now. Still yet to find a clear answer towards the nets behind Gelsen Zhangpo on the other end of the pitch. Right now, I don't think even their centre backs have been breached. Muhibullah, Tariqazi, Siddiqui Jawara right now. Very strong back line. Sangilek then deciding to take it up front himself. Again, that is exactly what I was talking about. Without him, without giving him the ball, Tensung will not find an answer up front because only he has a little bit of creativity available to him that you would typically ask out of the guy leading the charge. Does have the cuts as well, but that will not last for long. Handed it over to Paro and now Siddiqui Jawara. Alves left foot, right in. Yuta Mishima could not recover quickly enough and now Tensung will get possession. Kile. Back to Sonam, Yuta Mishima trying to press in. Sangilek then did. Again, what I was talking about does have a little bit of creativity. Doesn't really work all the time, but sometimes when it works, it does create a lot of situations that wouldn't fall short of pure miracles. Ligden. Paro down the flank. Kinga gets past that matchup against Kinle. Will chip it up front and Tensung sends it way far out. Back to Mohipullah. No need to rush. A bit more than 10 minutes remain for Paro, who now through Tariq Kazi have Purpa down the middle. Back out. Nyima. Going deep. It is still Nyima. Has the angle for a delivery, but will send it off of the defender for a corner for Paro. Did have a conversion early on from Mohibullah via a header. And right now, all they need is one more to simply seal the deal. A header will keep it for Kinga. Always on the left. Siddiqui Jawara, powerful delivery. Sent it to the other side. And this time, a more carefully lofted pass. It's off of Mohibullah. Similar trajectory as early on, but it will go towards Itochi as off of that header. There was a bit of collision and medical attention underway. Again, a closer look at that. Sangilek then seems like he got hit with that elbow as Mohibullah was coming down. Kille gets that deflection off of Siriki. This time Tensung do have numbers up front. So as long as they do not send those rockets out, they may be fine. Well, they did, and header will be kept alive by Tensung. Follow up a bit too strong. Paro in possession, but Tensung a bit too reckless. Close call right up front. But no sugar in that sauce. It will go back to Tensung. Right now it is Paro. Only 2 to their name. They do have a lot of attacks going up front that simply are not converting. Again, half of that credit towards the chaos Tensung is creating with their physicality. At the same time, it is their own undoing as well. But Sangelegden again looking solid. Again, keep him in the middle. You will find a lot of options, but this time a solid pass up front to Kinle, who will not be able to continue on with that dribble. Finally, a decent opportunity for Tensung. As Purpatensen prepared to send in a corner for Tensung to get at least one back in. Hopefully, Sompunzo's posted up in. Delivery right down the middle. It is off of Mohipullah, and now Tensung may be caught off guard without their centre back in that back line. They look for a quick launch down that right flank. Yuta Mishima right down the middle. Kinga making a run down that left. Richard Sanya straight and up close as Kinga gets that touch. Here's a Toji right up. No goalkeeper in the post. Possession one right back out. Richard Sanya. An option down the middle, but that pass never came his way. Finally it does, but now Tensung has set up. Cavani has Siddiqui Jawara, his Gambian partner, down on that flank if he wants an exit. But will lovingly so take that one-on-one, out of which he gets a delivery in far post. But too strong there for Nyima Wangdi to keep it under control. Kinga up to Sanya. Paro, that third still evading their reach, but Richard Sanya lets one loose. Good opportunity, still alive. Delivery right inside Yuta Mishima, the target, but it will be interrupted before it could even get there. Yet another effort to intercept it. Again, a closer look at that. Nyima Wangdi. Solid again from that backline. Solid again from Toji. Still doing all they can to make that deficit as achievable to come back from as possible. Paro. Tensung looked promising, but Paro still advantage, still playing possession. Kelson Zangpo. Off to Terekazi. Tomoyuki Uno. Now back out. Only minutes left until Tensung can take a breather, but that may be long time coming as flag has been raised against that solid run from Sania. Tensung was appealing for a handball call as well, but that offside flag will make short work of that effort. A closer look. Well, no argument there. So it's Sania. Against that double team will at least keep possession for Paro. Right now, so many shots coming from Paro. Do let me know if you feel like we will see one more go in before the halftime break. Because right now, given the pressure, seems really likely that they will at least get 2 or 3 more shots in against, is it Toji? But Paro will decide to take it patient. Kinga. Try to cut it back in, but read like a book. It will be Paro forced to restart. Back to Siddiqui Jawara. Stellar left foot. Sends it right up in front, where they simply couldn't match the pace. Now into additional time, 2 more minutes have been added. Yuta Mishima. Now down the middle. Can't get it back, headed away. And now Sange Legden. Tensung the chance to keep that last possession before the half ends. As this time passes, connecting solid. Gets one in up front to Pelden as well. Siddiqui Jawara right down, taking that one-on-one. Pelden cuts inside, clean dribble, but knocked down. Clear denial of a brilliant opportunity there, and a yellow card will be handed over, will be awarded to Siddiqui Jawara as Tensung now have the chance to end the first half with a solid chance past Kelsen Zangpo. Again, a closer look at that successful dribble. Siddiqui Jawara did shove him right out of the line, but still had enough agility as that header does not connect. So Punso right there as well. And with Paro sending it right back out. Kept alive by Tensung. May get another chance. This is the last minute. Down the right, delivery inside, but Pellet couldn't quite get the elevation he needed to send that one in. Paro, however, last 20 seconds, last possession of this match if they play their cards right. Looking for a dribble right down the middle. And clean challenge, Tensung will win it right back. Almost thought there was a third coming from either side. But with only seconds left, should be a whistle coming anytime soon. And there it is. Paro, here at Vachu, here at home, putting up a successful first half, 2 goals to their name. Despite the many misses, will be happy with the conversion rate they have going on so far. Tensung on the other end, their defense, spectacular as always. Sometimes it does lose a little bit of focus, but they should definitely keep that level of defense up, and on top of that, simply try to find 1 or 2 avenues through which they can find a successful shot at least. But Do let me know what you think the scoreline will be like at the end of the match. Right now, it is 2 for Paro, it is nil for Tensung as we head into the halftime break. Also, very happy that nothing has escalated in this match, especially coming off of yesterday. But this was your commentator, Ugintish Toji. Thank you guys for the support. Stay safe, love football, direct that energy towards a positive, in a positive manner, and make it fun for everybody. Until the second half resumes, peace out. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Kusangpo, and welcome to the second half of the bout here between PARO FC at home at Bochu versus Tensung. Right now, the scoreline is 2 for PARO against a nil for Tensung, who in the dying minutes of the first half did at least manage to show us a bit of promise, unlike the first 40 minutes. But hopefully, they had some time to regroup. They had some time to adjust their game plans properly. And while they were calmed down in the halftime break, because if they play anywhere close to what they did in the first half, Paro will continue on to extend the lead that they have right now as Yuta Mishima on cleanup duty. As Itoji, it is the goalkeeper who takes it past the captain. Solid defending there from Tensung, but right now defense is not what they need. It may be their identity, but you can't continue to defend even when you are down. At least a solid cross in this time. It is a second ball cleaned up by Paro. Paro stretching that Tensung defense thin. They do have a triple team coming away of that possession. Cleared off by Tensung. Final deflection off of Paro. Despite the promise they had early on with the space they obtained on that left, that outlet could have been much more quicker. Held on to it for far too long. Initiative lost, advantage lost by that time. And after Tensung regrouped, no chance they have any more penetration. Paro trying again. Delivery inside, but it is cleared off quite solid there by Sangel Letro, who this time makes no mistake. That second goal from Paro was off of a penalty from Richard Sania, who won it off that man. 44 for Tensung. As Paro, they did have a header fall in from Mohipula early on. Can they look for that again? Delivery is neat. It goes out at the edge of the box. Recovery, Siddiqui. His left foot has been powerful all game long, but with that much congestion inside the box, even he will not be able to find an answer towards the post. Possession for Paro. 5 minutes in the second half. The reigning champs taking it pretty slow. They have not made a substitution yet. They still do have a lot of fiber on the bench. Musa Khan for that backline, Oganeju for that backline, Tiger Kita Jima, who typically comes in for Utah. And then they also have Titim Namgil as well. Purpa Talent from behind, but that outlet towards Chutar is clean. Gets it right back. Purpa. Tomoyuki Uno on the left. Terikazi. Tomoyuki. Yuta Mishima. Solid one touch over to the flank. Richard Sanya back out to Siddiqui Jawara. Tomoyuki Uno. As Tensung's defense has compacted the entirety of their 11. Other than Chinle, the rest of them are posted up on that mid block. And now Purpa gets one in past Kinzang Chutar. Can't quite send it past Sangel Letro. But Paro will at least get yet another corner. Decent delivery. Header clipped off of Tensung. Anyone's ball at this point. Recovery is through Abduli Balde. And now Nyima gets it right back. Man down for Tensung, but Tomoyuki Uno ball roll is right between. Couldn't find a teammate. And evaluations finally underway. It seems like 2 personnel down. For Tensung, not good signs, especially given the struggles they are under right now. Also, clarification for our fans, Asante not in the starting 11, not even in the bench, as far as I'm led to believe. Yep, Everson Asante not on the bench as well. No information as to what happened. There was that first goal from Mohipullah off of a header from a corner delivery there by Yuta Mishima, who is right now tied up with Tiger Kitajima on the bench, and BFF's Dodo or Rinzin Toji had 7 goals to their name in their campaign so far. The second one was from Richard Sanya. Made no mistakes on that penalty. Also for clarification, Chutur is Nima Wangdi, the national team captain of Bhutan, who is called as Chutur. I do try to switch it up between the main name and the nickname. So do apologize. Do let me know if there are a couple of players whom you do not know. Terikazi is Terikazi. Kinga is Kinga up in front. Abduli Balde, Paro's number 7, is also called Cavani. In that back line, Siddiqui Jawara, number 2, is called Alves. Interesting names. The Japanese go by their own names. Tomoyuki Uno is Tomoyuki Uno. This time sends it towards the goalkeeper, the referee. Kinza does well clearing it off.
Just number 10, Kakat Sirik is replaced by just number 26, Chuki Wanchu.
Terikazi now back out. Paro, Siddiqui launching one with plenty of power. The rebound goes towards Kinzantoji and Tensung will clear it off. Extreme focus from Siddiqui Jawara. Early on, all his shots went soaring up above the crossbar. This time, did his level best keeping it as grounded, as on target as possible. And even if it went off the ground, it was very, very strong. Close call there, but right now Tensung, no time to retreat. They will play one in. Richard Sanya, clean up. Second ball is for PARO as well, and Tensung will lose initiative. PARO, quick counter on the left, Yuta Mishima right hand side, but it will be sent right off by Sang Eletro. Tensung, chaotic possession leading up to that. As Tensung still struggling to get a straight pass in, it is intercepted by Tarikazi with relative ease. And now Sanya takes it off. Nima Wang, these still Sanya's to take clean dribble all the way inside the finish line right there. But Tensung will somehow clean it up. An Ankara Messi movement from our very own Richard Sanya. Just refused to let go of the ball. But they still do get an opportunity from that left flank, which will be sent off by Tensung again. Again, a closer look at that. So many dribbles inside, so many feints. Could have ended in a shot much earlier there for Richard Sanya. Solid dribble there. Went all the way by himself from the edge of the box, right in front of the goalkeeper, where he even had the goalkeeper and the defender along, downed as well. And just couldn't finish. Nima, very cheeky there, but that flag does go for Tensung. Kinzang, throw in play short back to Kinzang. Nima gets a foot in. PARO through Abdulipal Zaid. They do have Nimongi making that run on that right where they do have a lot of space, but he may want to invert. Left foot never came. PARO, right now their forwards and their production absolutely phenomenal. 7 games, 27 goals scored against all of their opposition. That highest contributor came from that matchup against Ugan Academy, 11. The scoreline, 11-0 as well. And only 7 goals allowed. Second least goals allowed. The team with the better record in that regard is Timber City, who only have conceded 6 in 8 games. Back out to Kazi. Nima. Sanya still. Nima tried to drive one in, but Kinzang got right in the way of that. And now Kazi. Back to Gelson. 1 hour in. Half an hour left in this match. Plenty of promise from the side of PARO, but with the expectations, only 2 have been converted so far. And it seems like the drought will continue on for a short while. Again, drought, an overstatement, as we have already seen 2 getting in. But we have yet to see 1 go in from open play. Both of these goals from set pieces, 1 from a corner, header from Mohib, and the second from a penalty. So a solid takeaway is that at least TENSUNG is doing a great job in transition, holding out in build-up. I'm not quite sure what is happening, but the referees having a couple of conversations down on the sides. Well, a yellow card over to the staff of PARO. Hopefully, it stays there. We do not want a repeat of yesterday. It was a similar situation. Pretty sure most of you have seen the videos getting circulated. As TENSUNG, Kinle cannot get a dribble in this time around. Tomoyuki Uno, clinical, and taking it right back out. And now back to Yeser, however, for TENSUNG for another chance. Kinza. Kaka right down the middle. Ambitious pass there. Have to respect the cuts there from TENSUNG to play out of their comfort zone, especially with a pass like that one, as a couple more substitutions coming in. Kezat Sitim and Somsring Doji coming in.
Substitution for Team PARO FC, jersey number 15,
Sanya out, Kinzang out. PARO looking to bolster their ranks and give a little bit of experience out to their bench. While they're at it, we have seen all 3 guys lots of times already in their campaign so far. Does not necessarily get to start. Something did get that one opportune moment versus Ogun Academy. But the rest of them sometimes do get minutes, sometimes don't. And this time Coach Pushpalal trying to get as much promise into his future. As TENSUNG now in possession. Drive on it right down the middle, but with that challenge coming in from Tarikazi, TENSUNG will find it difficult. They do keep it up in the air for PARO to take. Abduli Balde now off to the wing. So sitting right up. Still Tarikazi. Strong challenges coming from Kinle. And that may have been a bit too much there. TENSUNG looking solid in possession. They are playing it slow. Kinzang. Sangelekden right up in front, but that pass will go towards Kinle. Kinzang. Sangelekden down on the flank. If Tensung can get anything going, it will be through him. Solid pass there, but Belden couldn't keep it under control. Otherwise, a brilliant setup. Tensung striker just couldn't get a hold of that ball. Amazing pass there from Sangelekten. But Tensung will have to try again. Kezang throwing, handed over to Siddiqui. Paro turns possession over. Chinle right up front, but can't quite get that poke in past Mohibulla. Too big of a body in the way. Paro, dangerous chance, but it will be sent right back out to Eze. Danger averted. Now the only question left that they have to solve is, can they find at least one back in to help their efforts out? Because right now it is looking bleak. Paro, but solid defense again from Tensung, keeping that attack at bay. Paro, down the right, an unfortunate stumble will set it up for a goal kick. Tarikazi. Chaotic possessions coming in from Paro. They seem like they have lost their composure from earlier. They do get a setup right up close. Purpa cannot get that follow-up. Now poked out up Tensung. Yet again clears it off. Something on the throw-in. Abdulipaldi. 20 minutes remain, and both teams right now seems to have settled down comfortably. In the scoreline we have set since The 24th minute of the match. As Somtring, solid touch, left foot follow up, far out. Clipped by a header, it will be Tensung's throw in. It is advantageous for PARO, who may want to get a press up because Tensung right now seem pretty incapable of getting that ball out unless they play those rockets. Ball played up high again by Tensung, but it will go nowhere. Solid turnout in the crowds here at PARO as they have Keza Town on that flank. So many injuries early on in this match. Hopefully it is only minor as it would really impact their chances going forward. Also not quite sure what happened to Asante, who is not here today. But hopefully it is not injury concerns, because losing him right in front of a crucial part of their season would be really detrimental. PARO may have a decent advantage. Yuta Mishima posted back post if they can get a ball in that side. Did have a shot, but it is sent away. Keza. Ipoji Sitinamge. Now back out to the flank. Purpa. Tomoyuki Uno, if he wants an outlet. Terikazi right behind as well, who will get involved courtesy of the Japanese. Somsering. Yuta. Still Somsering. Left footed. Abdul Balde, solid control back towards Kazi. It is a congested lane now. Tensung has regrouped and are holding their fort comfortably deep inside their own half. Well, given the promise in that build-up, that shot was pretty anticlimactic. And it will be up to Tensung to take it right back. Now Terikazi, a quarter of an hour left until the end of this match. Well, had the ambition there, sought Sitimpeza, but just couldn't connect. Izutochi looking to send it out long. Sompunso posted way up as well. A header keeps it in play in that back line for Paro. Gelson Zampo, however, will lob it right back up at the halfway line again. Tensung couldn't quite get a header in. It will, seems like they at least clipped that ball somewhat, but it will be Paro's to take. Paro, amidst that traffic, they still find an outlet down to that flank. Still Paros. The pace of this match very slow unless they find a shot in, but it is blocked off again. But that attack nullified nonetheless. Kinza. Tensung back in possession. The second half looking at least a little bit better in terms of their holdout in that first half. They were simply sending that ball way out to where there were no blue jerseys in sight and simply baiting PARO FC, simply daring them to put forth a challenge, which did not go as planned, as you can see on the scoreline. Both goals scored inside the first half an hour. The second half, Tensung do seem to be taking a little bit of initiative on their own hands. Avenue, Somchring Doji, left lane delivery inside. Yuta Mishima setting up a volley. It is blocked off. Purpa, solid defense from Tensung. Can they keep it up again? And yes, they do. Intimidated enough out of that shot to send it way far out. Paro, through Tomoyuki Uno. A considerably slowed down tempo right now in this final stretch of the game. A bit more than 10 minutes remain. Purpa, further right back out for Tomoyuki Uno to hand it over to Somchring Toji. Tomoyuki sent down, but does seem like he is getting back up. Purpa outlet gets it right back on that right flank. Tensung steadily regrouping. This time they have, but Sitim may find an angle. Clean challenge, and Tensung wins possession right back.
Substitution for Team Tensung FC, jersey number 3 Kim Jang-dolje is replaced by jersey number 37 Karma Funso. Another substitution for Team Tensung FC, jersey number 24 Kilet Chering is replaced by jersey number 19 Phup Doji.
Tensung, somehow a surprise run right up inside. Despite that challenge, Paro will get away. Similar challenge early on against Paro, not called as well, so at least that's fairness right there. That challenge was not really that harsh as well, but here's a Doji. Head up, flicked up, cleaned off at the line. Follow up this time, took it right to the chest. Had to hurt, but amazing effort there. Tensung putting bodies on the line quite literally. Again, solid clearance the first time around. An amazing interception on that second one as well. Abduli Balde. Well, left foot finally gets the third for PARO, which was a long way coming. Second goal scored in the 24th minute. And now all the way late in the 82nd minute, we have one finally going for PARO as Tensung, despite their defense finally coming alive. Sonam Punso a step too late, expected Abduli to take it much further in before he could take that shot. Taken completely by surprise with that early pull-up right from that D area, and yes, they're, despite being up in the air, simply unable to get behind that ball given the pace it had and the placement right inside the woodworks. Did what they could, but Tensung now nil against PARO FC's 3. A couple more subs coming in as well. Dinesh and Tandin being brought in for PARO. It seems like Siddiqui Jawara is being taken out.
Another substitution for Team PARO FC. Just number 2 Siddiqui is replaced by just number 3 Tandin Doji.
At this point in time, Tensung pretty much no chance of coming back in. Somsering down on the flanks, amazing skill, gets a delivery right in as well. Second touch there, Yuta Mishima. Flag is down, an amazing string of connections all the way starting from Sonam Sering, the youngster, making a really clean work with that dribble. Send it in, not quite sure if that second one that sent it to Yuta was supposed to be a shot or a pass, but it worked nonetheless. And now Yuta Mishima, lone at the top
Scored by just number
as
23
BoB
Yuta.
Bhutan Premier League 2026's top scorer. 8 goals to his name. He's finally overtaken Tiger Kitajima and BFF Academy's Rinzen Toji. Now will sit alone up at the top until the next match, possibly. But we may see the youngsters from BFF shine yet again. Tarikazi. Now back out to Mohipullah. And now PARO looking for one more. 4-0 the scoreline right now. Could not find Yuta Mishima right inside. Intercepted early there by captain. Still Tarikazis, however. The last 2 minutes of play. Yuta Mishima lets it roll in stride for Abduli Pale. But a fantastic save from Yeze. Well denied that absolute bullet. Amazing effort there, left foot. Solid save there from the Tensung goalkeeper, who will still keep it at 4. Body in the way yet again. Mohipula's shot denied.
There will be 4 minutes of additional time.
Tensung with very well the last opportunity. 4 minutes added. Belden tried to dribble it past. Delivery will not go according to plan, and now back the other way. Immediate blitz. Somtsering set up that first one earlier on. Will look to get it towards Abduli Balde. Clean contact, clean setup. Yuta Mishima couldn't get that touch to finish it up. Otherwise, a solid effort. This time will not get the result they want. Tensung still, however, at least able to retain one more possession. 2 more minutes remain. Tensung unable to win that duel. Tariq Qazi's header as Chinle not quite the intensity to warrant any further intervention there from the referee. But it will at least give the military side one more opportunity, the last minute of play. Delivery back post and a header from PARO will send it right out. Tensung, yet another chance. Follow up, Sompunso in the middle of two defenders, gets it out towards Kaka. Follow up, set up from that right flank. Kelton Sangpo Hetes, last 10 seconds, and PARO have guaranteed the 3 points and their climb back to the summit over Timber City at the top. As Abduli Palde almost got one more shot in. But well, looks like PARO will get the chance indeed to make it 5. They played quick. Last couple of seconds, they have to keep the intent alive, and that shot will roll right out. And that whistle will confirm PARO's successful campaign out here in Wochu. Tensung will end with a loss. 4-0 the scoreline to end it out. The opening scored by Mohit Pulla in the 6th minute. Sanya with a penalty in the 24th. Yuta Mishima and Abduli Palde
The full-time score we have is PARO FC
in the 80s continued on with 2 more to cap off a solid victory, putting them back up on top above Timber City, who will have to find yet another victory to challenge the throne again. But solid outing from PARO. Did what they could. Their attacking options on full display despite Asante being missing. But thank you guys for tuning in. Did end without disaster, did end without any more drama, unlike yesterday. This was your commentator, Ugindesh Toji. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for the support. See you guys in the next one.